Hey, what's up, people? This is David Huang coming at you from supplementsuperhero.com, and today I've got a pretty cool review that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing my review of Proactol XS and sharing my own personal experience with the product. And I won't go into like tons of depth. If you do want to get some more information about the product, feel free to check out the link in the description below. It goes to my full review article where I go into a lot more depth. I've got a lot of pictures. I document my entire experience with the product, as well as links to the official website where if you actually want to buy the product, you can. So I won't go into that much depth. You can check out my website and check that out later. But just wanted to give a brief review of the product and how it works and whatnot. So if you're not familiar with Proactol XS, what it is, it's a essentially a weight loss supplement. Okay, what it is, it's known as a fat binder, meaning it helps to fight fat in our diet. Okay, and really, I would say the biggest component of the product, or the biggest key ingredient, the secret sauce, if you will, is chitosan. So many times, actually chitosan is becoming really, really popular. Many times it's sold on its own, right, by many companies as chitosan, right? So it's really, really big. Essentially, Proactol XS is just what it is. It's chitosan. That's the main key ingredient. And really, it's beneficial in two big ways. One, it helps to suppress appetite, and two, it helps to fight fat. Right, so they say that some research indicates that chitosan acts as sort of a soluble fiber, right? Meaning it helps you to excrete waste from your body, and it gives you that feeling of fullness, right? It suppresses your appetite. So a big problem with a lot of people, myself included, okay, and I've got a fairly fast metabolism, so of course a lot of times I am like really, really hungry, but the thing is, why a lot of people gain weight is because they're overeating. And not only are they overeating, but they're overeating a lot of the wrong types of foods. A lot of foods that are high in calories, high in fat, especially trans fats, which are bad for you. Right, so we're talking like burgers, hot dogs, sausage, bacon. Okay, I'm a huge bacon lover. Okay, pizza, ice cream, all the stuff that tastes good isn't necessarily the best for us. So when we take a supplement like Proactol XS, if it allows us to become more full and it helps to suppress the appetite, naturally we're going to start eating less, which is going to prevent us from gaining that weight. And of course, the other big thing about chitosan, and there's a lot of ongoing research too, right? So none of this is really definitive, but some research indicates that if you do take chitosan, it helps to fight the fat. It prevents you from absorbing as much fat and storing as much fat in your body. It helps to excrete that. Okay, the way they display it on the website is it forms when you ingest fat, right? The fat molecules go inside your body, and what happens is when you take chitosan, okay, or you take Proactol XS, right? And what happens is it interacts with it, right? It integrates with those fat molecules and forms sort of like a capsule around that fat molecule, which makes it indigestible by your body, and then you just excrete it as waste. So you don't have to worry about overloading with as much fat. You don't have to worry about that fat storing in your body. It just goes out. It becomes indigestible, which is obviously ideal, right? So the idea behind this is there's 60 capsules in one bottle, and you're supposed to take 2 capsules about 15 minutes before each meal, which means you could technically, up to 3 times per day, so you could technically take up to 6 capsules per day, anywhere from 2 to 6 capsules per day, depending on how much you eat, which means a bottle of this, I mean, if you're eating, like, let's say you eat 3 times a day, and if you take it with every meal, 1 bottle could last as short as 10 days, right? If you eat 1 meal a day, it could last you as long as 30 days, right? So definitely, if you really use it as suggested, it might not last you a long time. So you might have to get yourself like a bunch of bottles if you really want to make the best use of the product. But in any case, from my own personal experience, I used the product for 15 days straight, and I really didn't have any issues with the product. Yeah, I didn't get sick, didn't have any sort of allergic reaction. Oh, by the way, that's another big thing about the product too. If you're like a vegetarian, vegan, or if you're allergic to a bunch of things like lactose, fish, you don't have to worry about it. What's cool about the product is it's really cool because it's natural. So there's no preservatives. There's no animal products whatsoever, no shellfish products. It's a non-GMO, so you don't have to worry about that. No gluten, no lactose. So it's really perfect for the type of person who, if you're afraid of side effects, if you're afraid of allergens, if you're vegetarian, if you're vegan, it's cool because you don't have to worry about all of that with Proactol XS. So that's a pretty cool thing that I like about the product personally. But anyways, I used the product for 15 days straight. I didn't feel any negative side effects. But at the same time, you know, my experience was just okay. It wasn't like the most life-changing experience. I didn't like feel full with every single meal. But I used the product pretty consistently for 15 days. I mixed it up a little bit. Some days I just ate it with lunch. Some days I ate it with lunch and dinner. Some days I even had it with lunch, breakfast, and dinner. And I really didn't notice a big effect until day 13. On day 13, that's where I actually noticed a significant effect, because on that day, I was like, okay, I was used to taking the product 15 minutes before my meal, but on day 13, I was like, okay, let's try taking the product an hour before my first meal of the day. And on day 13, I took 2 tablets an hour before lunch, and literally during my lunch I felt like pretty full. I actually noticed an effect on my appetite. My appetite was literally suppressed quite a bit more than normal, and again, that might just be placebo, it might have just been a coincidence, who knows, but in any case, that was my personal experience. And overall, you know, it wasn't exactly life-changing, but that day 13 did sort of make a difference. So some variables to keep in mind: I'm still fairly young. I'm 27 right now. My metabolism is still fairly fast. So, and now, all my days weren't perfect, right? Every single day I didn't take it perfectly 15 minutes before I ate my meals, so that could have played a big part. If you're a bit older, if your metabolism's a bit slower, if you eat a diet that's very rich in fat, right? Because I don't necessarily eat tons of fat, although I love it. Most of my diet is, I eat carbs and proteins, right? I should probably cut those carbs out a little bit. But anyways, if you're maybe a bit older and you have also if you suffer from overeating, if you have a tendency to overeat a lot, if you have a tendency to eat a lot of fat meals, or if you're looking for a weight loss supplement that has more natural products in it or non-animal related products, I would say Proactol XS would be a good fit for you and is worth at least trying out. So hopefully this added some value, guys. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Again, I want to go into a little bit more depth, but there's only so much time. I don't want to bore you to death with all the details. But if you do want to get some more information, click the link in the description below. Check out my full review article at supplementsuperhero.com, where I go into a lot more depth. Any questions, comments, compliments, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. As always, take care, guys. Thanks for watching, and sup it up.